What's going on, everybody? Big YouTube world. I hope everybody's doing good. We're here getting close to the end of January 2025, and man, it's a beautiful day today. It is over 60 degrees, and we needed it because the past 2 to 3 weeks it's been in the 20s, cold. We've had 2 rounds of snow here in Georgia, snow and ice. And it's good that it's warmed up just a little bit. And I feel like I can get outside. I'm at the age now where if it's cold, I don't want to get outside. If it's hot, I don't want to get outside. But anyway, I'm still happy to be here. But hey, today I want to give a huge shout out to Stihl chainsaws. And the reason is because I've had this chainsaw for a long time. I had another one just like it, and that saw actually got crushed. It was late in the day, cutting some trees with my father-in-law. We cut one last pine tree, and it sat down on the saw, pinched it. Just had a little bit to get through and get it out of there, so I thought I would. Took a small axe, started hitting on it down on the back of the band there, and the tree was sitting on the stump leaning this way because it was leaning anyway, and my saw was in there, and when I cut through that band, that pine tree started rolling, and it was the most god-awful sound I've ever heard. It rolled right over the top of the motor cover and everything, and so anyway, it was a great saw. But this is a Stihl MS310, and I have had this saw for 17 years now. Here's the invoice where I bought it. So this month is 17 years, and so the reason I wanted to give them a shout out is because I have never done anything to this saw, and I have cut down over the past 17 years with this one. I mean, I've cut down a couple hundred trees or more, I don't know. Because we heat with firewood a lot, and so we burn a lot, and I use a lot of wood. So, and I enjoy cutting wood. And honest to goodness, I have never done anything to this saw until about 2 weeks ago. I was running it right back here, and when I let off of it, the chain kept spinning. And so I did a little Google search, a little YouTube search, and found that it's one of two things. It's either your clutch springs are going bad, they've loosened up, and so they're not holding the flywheel, or your carburetor just needs to be adjusted. So I thought, well, I'll just adjust the carburetor. So I watched the YouTube video on how to do it, and there's a low idle adjustment, and then there's a high and a low. And just basically by adjusting that low idle, it can stop that as long as your springs are still good. So that's what I did. I adjusted it. I was going to order some new springs anyway, but I think I'm going to wait because it's fine. The only other thing I've ever done to this is the fuel filter inside the fuel tank. I did replace it one time just because it was getting clogged up, and I thought, I emptied the tank out. I thought I'd order a new filter, so I did. I didn't have to, but I did that anyway. So when I crushed my other saw, I did keep some of the parts, and one of the best ones was the air filter. So now when I take the air filter off, I can clean it and have it ready to go. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change out the air filter here because this one needs to be changed, and this one's clean and ready. So like I say, I've used other chainsaws, and I gravitate towards Stihl products. They make a quality product, and like I say, their chainsaw, it's been jam up. A few suggestions: you keep a sharp chain, and you rotate your bar. You flip your bar about every time you sharpen the chain, or every other time, something like that. You flip the bar over so it gets even wear. Because what happens is, over time, that bar, the groove that chain runs in, it will start to flare out a little bit, and so it can be fixed. They have to take and put it on a belt sander and just grind it down a little bit just to give it enough room to where it rides straight and doesn't wobble. Because if this is your bar and your chain's riding on top and your bar has flare in it in the groove, that chain will wobble and it'll make your cuts are horrendous, and then it'll wear your chain out quicker. Keep a clean air filter, a sharp chain, and good clean fuel, and blow the dirt out of it every now and then, and it should last. You know, like I say, I've not had any problems with it, but I'm not a professional. I have cut down a lot of trees, but by no means do I consider myself a professional. I still watch videos on cutting trees down just to kind of reiterate to myself on safety and everything else. And I learn from all of them. Hey, I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on Stihl products. If you've had an issue with them. I haven't. We've got the big Stihl 661 that we use on the Alaskan chainsaw mill, and then my brother-in-law also has the I think it's a 450 or 452 or something like that. It's a great saw. He recently bought that, and hey, 17 years and not really having to do anything. That's good product. Stihl's a German company. I lived in Germany for 3 years, went to high school over there, and that's not why I bought Stihl, but I do like Germany. Hey, leave a comment, either thumbs up if you like Stihl, thumbs down if you don't, and tell me why. I'm just curious. Hey, if there's a better product out there, let me know that as well. The other thing I wanted to talk about is this sharpener. If you cut wood or anything, I'm sure you've seen these around. And I will preface this by saying I cannot sharpen a chainsaw chain with one file and get it good. I can do it, get the edges done a little bit, and it just doesn't hold it or something. But I mean, for years I would take them to a local place to get them to use a grinding wheel to sharpen them, and then in the field I'd try to hit it with a file and it just wouldn't do any good. Then I saw this thing and thought, man, I ought to just try that. And I think it's a Stihl. This one's made by Stihl. I'm sure there are other ones out there, but it's pretty cool, because what it'll do is it'll sharpen. There's 2 round files in it, and then there is 1 flat file, and then there's 4 bars, 2 for each side, that make it sit where it needs to sit. Obviously the round file is for the tooth, and the flat file is for the rakers. And what it does is it keeps a consistent cut from the tooth to the raker, and only allows a certain cut. And so if you're filing down your teeth and you're never taking the rakers down, well, you're losing your cut because the tooth is down even with the raker. So you want to take that raker down just a little bit too, each sharpening, to get a consistent cut all the time. So this thing has the angles on it. There are indicator lines on the bars and arrows telling you which way to go for the right tooth, and then you line it up the bars and run it through there, and you can really hear it bite into the tooth. So this thing has been a godsend for me, because like I say, I can't sharpen a chain worth of poop, but this helped me out. So maybe somebody out there, it'll help them too. I'd go buy one. And usually anybody that sells Stihl products is going to have this sharpener also. So hey, I appreciate you guys watching. We're really getting close to 1,000, and not that that's really going to mean anything, but we're getting there. But I do appreciate all the subscribers and everybody that's new that tunes in and watches. Thank you. And thank you to all of our veterans and our public safety servants out there. that stand in the gap for us and keep us safe. I really appreciate them. Hey, thanks for watching, and y'all have a great day.